Hi guys, so today I'm showing you how to make a circle skirt and I'll be talking you through each step. Before getting started, you will need fabric scissors, lots of pins, large sheets of paper, a pencil and marking pens, thread, a sewing machine or needles, but a sewing machine definitely makes this process easier, a ruler, I'm using a clear quilting ruler, and a soft measuring tape. You'll also want some fabric. I'm using a printed floral cotton sateen, and you'll need some fusible interfacing, and a zipper. And that's it! To make a circle skirt, you'll need to know your waist measurement and how long you want to make the skirt. Length comes down to personal preference, and your waist measurement can be found by using the soft measuring tape. When that is figured out, find your waist measurement's radius. Do this by dividing the measurement by 3.14, then dividing the result by 2. Now fold a large piece of paper in half. Make sure the bottom and folded edge are straight. You want this corner to be at a 90-degree angle. Now use the ruler and measure away from the corner. Make a series of tick marks that are within a ½ inch from each other. The distance from the tick marks to the corner of your paper should be the same as your waist radius. You should end up with a curved line when all the tick marks are connected. Now measure a ½ inch away from the line you've just drawn. This is the seam allowance required to attach the skirt to the waistband. Add the radius of your waist measurement, the desired length of your skirt, and a 1-inch seam allowance together. The number you end up with is the distance between the corner of the paper and where the hem should be marked. Line the ruler up with the corner of the paper and create tick marks using that measurement. These marks should be close together and create a rounded line when they are connected. Now cut the skirt pattern out. Create the waistband pattern. The waistband is just a rectangle. It will be as long as your waist measurement plus 1 inch of seam allowances. The width is up to you, but whatever you choose should be multiplied by 2 with 1 inch added to allow for seam allowances. Time for the fun stuff. Line the straight edge of your circle skirt pattern up with the folded edge of your fabric, then pin it in place. For larger circle skirts, you may have to cut them as 2 half-circle pieces, which is totally fine. Now cut the skirt out. Cut a straight line from the skirt's hem to the waist opening. This will eventually become the back seam. Now admire your pretty circle skirt in its first stage of life. Circle skirts are partially bias cut and can warp when they hang, which leads to having an uneven hem. To combat this, let the skirt hang overnight, then trim the parts that have stretched. I'll show you how to do that in a minute, but in the meantime, let's work on the waistband. Pin the pattern you've made onto your fabric, then cut it out. Place the waistband over a lightweight fusible interfacing and cut around it. The interfacing will make the waistband look a lot smoother, so please don't skip this step. Iron that on and it should look like this. Now use chalk to mark a line 1 inch away from each long edge. Fold the raw edge inward so it touches this line, then pin it down. Iron those edges so they stay folded over and remove the pins. Now it should look like this. Fold the waistband in half with the right sides facing each other, and pin the ends like this. Now sew a ½ inch away from the raw edge on both sides, as you can see me doing right here. Trim the corners so there isn't excess fabric there, then turn the waistband the right way out. Use a pencil to help turn the corners all the way out so they are nice and sharp. Stick a few pins in it, then iron across the top edge so it stays folded. And this pretty much finishes the waistband, so let's get back to work on the skirt. After the skirt is hung overnight, lay it flat, then place your pattern over top and trim anything that extends past the paper's edge. Create a guideline for the skirt hem by stitching a ½ inch away from the edge. Using the stitch line you just created as a guide, turn the edge inward by a ½ inch and sew it down. Now the hem has a folded edge, which looks pretty okay from the outside, but on the inside it's raw and can fray over time. So mark a line 1 inch away from the hem on the interior of your fabric. This is a guideline for the double hem. I had a little issue with my fabric. The selvage was a little bit too wide to be hidden with a 1/2 inch double hem, so I actually measured 1.5 inches away from the edge, which will create a 3/4 inch hem. But that isn't what I would recommend doing, I just didn't have much of a choice. Now fold the edge up so it touches the line you've just created. Place pins a few inches apart, then add a couple more in between. The key to a smooth hem is having it secured during the sewing process. The hem will naturally want to go straight instead of curving, which is why it's hard to sew without any pins. But the hem is cut partially on the bias, so with a bit of work and a lot of pins, you can get it to have a nice smooth arch without any puckers. Now sew as close to the edge as you can and try and keep the stitching even because this will be visible in the front of the skirt. Spray the hem with a little bit of water, then press it with your iron. It should be smooth and free of any puckers. Now stitch a 1/2 inch away from the top of the skirt. This is a guideline for where to place the waistband. Sew up the back seam, but leave at least 6 inches open at the top for the zipper. Then press the seam open. You can finish these raw edges however you like. I chose to fold the raw edge inward, then I top stitched it down, but using bias tape or serger or French seams would work fine too. Now you should have a finished opening at the back of your skirt. Line this opening up with the edges of the waistband. Pin the waistband on so it covers the stitch line you just created. Make sure the pins go through both sides of the waistband. If the pins don't go through both sides, neither will your stitches when you sew it on. Sew an even line of stitches across the join point and the waistband is officially attached. Now pin the zipper in place. I'm pretty awful at zippers, so I don't have a lot of advice here, but make sure to iron invisible zippers before using them since the teeth curve inward when they are closed. And of course, line the teeth up with the edge of your fabric when pinning it in place. Then just sew it on as close to the edge of the fabric as you can without running over the edge or over the teeth of the zipper. If your zipper is too long, backstitch across the end, then trim it. And that's it! Congratulations, you've made a circle skirt. I love making these skirts. They're easy and they're fun and they look really cute when they are worn. You can also make ones that have several layers, put them over a petticoat, or embellish them for a fancier look. My black lace dress, Christmas angel skirt, and fall flower skirt all have partial circle skirts as bases. It's a simple pattern but can look very different depending on the materials you use, so it's a great thing to know how to make. I hope this was helpful, and if you decide to try it, I hope it turns out great for you. And of course, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it.